going to be the deciding issue?
Well, I think the deciding issue is going to come down to character and integrity.
That's going to, I'm talking about both the endorsement and the election. How about, first of all, who's going to be the GOP candidate?
I will be. And I still believe it's going to come down to character and integrity. I think people are going to look, at least I'm an internal optimist, obviously, but I really do hope that people are going to look at who's running, look at their record, look at their family, look at not just what they say, but what they do and what they have done. And certainly I think that's why if you look at my experience as mayor and you look at my experience as senator, that's going to help me be a better congressman.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of discussion about the district shifting more to the left. Is that... What's your reaction?
I would say that...
Is that true, or...?
I think it's always kind of been a lean Republican district, but I would say, I'm in the rural area, so it's more conservative, and I think we have shared values, and I think that's where it comes down to integrity, character, and who you are as a person. And I really do hope that people get to know the candidates and look a little deeper and find out what have they done, how have they given back to their community, what are they involved in.
Do you think the fact that Mr. Lewis lives across the border in another district is an issue?
It'll be a huge issue.
You might bring it up?
Well, I think a lot of people are going to bring it up. Certainly the Democrats are going to bring it up. It'll be a huge liability in the general election. It's that typical Washington thinking, I don't live with you, but I want to represent you. I'm going to spend your money for you. I don't pay taxes where you live, but I'll do okay with that. And I think that's just, just because you can doesn't make it that you should. And unfortunately, we have people that are looking for a job, and then you have others that are looking to serve. And I'm in that camp that I'm looking to serve.
Well, one of the most interesting conversations today, I think, was on the endorsement process.
Yes.
What do you think needs to happen now?
Well, certainly I think endorsement is very important, and I'm going to work very hard to earn the endorsement. It's a lot of one-on-one. It's a lot of one-on-one phone calls and getting those delegates to get to know who you are. I've been involved in the delegate process before. I've always abided by the process. And what I've said here is, let's see what the field looks like. Now we've got somebody just latecomer that says, hey, I'm going straight for a primary. And so I think that does change some of the dynamics. Now, everybody up there else has said, absolutely, I'm going to abide by the endorsement. So I don't think for them, it's all or nothing. We'll see what happens.
What do you think the impact will be on the race with the primary for the GOP, but not one for the Dems?
Well, I think that competition makes you stronger. I said that in one of my other answers. So I think, hopefully you come out with the strongest candidate. That's what it is. Hopefully that's what we'll get.
One of the big discussions around racial disparities was national government, federal government shouldn't be part of this conversation. They really don't have the role. What do you think, how do you think this...
Well, I didn't say that, the government we have the Equal Protection Clause. What I said is money isn't the answer. Money isn't the answer.
Yes.
And we should use and employ as many tools as we can, as many creative minds as we can, whether it's charter schools, whether it's public schools. We should encourage competition, and that's what we need to do.
How do you think government, if not in terms of ideas, but how do you think they should respond to that national discussion?
Well, I think we should have that. I think that discussion should be brought up every day. We should be having that discussion, and we should be encouraging schools to do their best. I don't think, certainly the tests that we take put a lot of pressures on the schools, and one of the things, I had a forum, I had 26 educators, 26 superintendents there, I believe it was, and their number one issue was the school start date. They wanted to be able to move it wherever, and we've got a law that says you can't start before Labor Day, and one of the reasons was because we were resort owners and everybody else was concerned about it, and that was their number one issue out of, I think they had like 50 different issues, and they had prioritized the first 25 of them, and that was the number one issue. And I said, tell me how this becomes the number one issue when you're not adding, more money, more class size, or reducing class size, you're not adding business. How come this is the number one issue? And I was enlightened there because one of the educators said, by moving that date gives us 10 more days to get ready for testing. And 10 days makes a huge amount of difference when it comes to the test date. Now, I was saying, well, why can't we try and ask for a waiver to move our test date back because we have this state law? So there's another way of looking at that too. But that's part of the issue. The testing and the scores are so incredibly important, and everything gets based off of that. So we need to look and examine how we evaluate performance.